That's what I'll do right here. Well, finally. Some technical difficulties is a regular around here, I guess. It's raining out, so that could be part of it. Well, welcome to my kitchen, and make sure you've got your shoes off because it's barefoot cooking in this kitchen. I have a friend across the ocean, and she wants to know. Y'all have heard of SNICKERDOODLES, right? Well, they're one of those, but I never did do a video on them, so now I'm doing them. These are so easy to make, and the ingredients are so easy to find, but I'm going to do it gluten-free, but wherever I tell you gluten-free, like the gluten-free flour, you can use regular flour. The only difference is what I use is gluten-free, and that's how off the excess weight. That's very important that it's unsalted. 2 sticks is a cup. 2 sticks of butter. Softened along with 1.5 cups of sugar. I use cane sugar. You can use granulated sugar, processed sugar, but I try to get as natural as I can with my recipes. Also, you're going to mix 2 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of cream and tartar. You can substitute the baking soda for the cream of tartar if you don't have cream of tartar. So to show you what creamed butter and sugar looks like, of course. 1 and 2. Just like that. And mix those in there. Just till it looks like cake batter. And it looks like cake batter. Kind of a cookie scoop. Never heard of it. So I looked them up. You know what a cookie scoop is? That's an ice cream scoop. They just come in different sizes. No. So I actually have an old-timey ice cream scoop. Mix that in. Make sure mine is the gluten-free. You're going to put half in to start with, and then the other half. You take half of it. You don't want to blend too high because your flour and dough will splat all over you and all over the kitchen. So. That smoke cloud. And here's the other half. There's some of it. Okay. Now, I shielded that with my hand because as you bring to scoop the excess cookie batter off of beaters. So I want as many cookies possible. You could drop these just on the cookie tray if you like to make them like a drop cookie. But traditionally, these are a nice little round cookie that's the rising effect. And when my kids were growing up, they would fight over these beaters. And I had 3 kids, so it was tough to figure out. Oh, so I told, all right, 2 of you get the beaters and 1 gets the bowl. My daughter got smart after a while. she knew there was more batter left in the bowl than on the beater, so she always opted for the bowl. Can't blame her. So, like that. I didn't put the vanilla in there. See? I forget stuff. I said, there's a missing flavor. And it's okay that I missed it at this point. There's 1 and 2. And sometimes I'll put extra vanilla just because I like the taste of vanilla. We'll do this one more time. You take a 1/4 cup of sugar and you stir it together. And that's what you roll these cookies in. That's what makes it, I guess that's what makes it the Snickerdoodle. I don't know, it's a German cookie from, yes they do. Especially apple strudel. Oh my goodness, homemade apple strudel. I have to make that one day. I have made it before, and it's decadent. Apple strudel with homemade apple pastry. I'm dying to do it in a gluten-free version. Now, when you go gluten-free, doesn't mean you have to give up taste or flavor. Matter of fact, you get new flavors and new tastes. And boy, is that wonderful. Especially the coconut flour. Yum. I use it mostly in my baked items, dessert kind of things or cookies, because it gives it that extra little something. So I'm just scooping that batter off of there. And it's only me and my husband to fight over these. And we like it that way. So these are going to go over to the side here. Now, you want to scrape this. Now these go in the oven at 350 for a whole 8 minutes on the middle rack. And you put them on top of parchment paper on your cookie tray. They tend to burn on the bottom. A greased cookie scoop. You can use an ice cream scoop. Just take some vegetable shortening, grease it with that. You can use vegetable oil if you like. Now I take a 8x8 pan like this for the cinnamon rolling part. So where's cinnamon and sugar? It's here. There it is. So 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and pour that right in there. Spread it out a little bit. Bottom of that pan. Now, I thought about using this. I thought, that'd be a really good cookie scoop. And I ended up with we'd have to do like this. Kind of halfway fill it. And then pop it out. And you take that, and you roll it in the cinnamon. The cinnamon and the sugar mixture. Let me get this out of the way, because I need to put this on cookie sheet. Right here. And this makes about 3 dozen, or at least it should make 3 dozen. So I've got that. What you need to make sure that you do with your Snickerdoodles is that you flatten them just a little bit. Otherwise, you'll end up with this big poofy mound, and you don't want it to be totally poofed out. So you just smush it just a little bit till it's about a 1/2 inch high. Now I'm going to use the cookie scoop. It's not a cookie scoop, it's an ice cream scoop. Now I looked them up online. I like this because it has a release lever. And just push it. And since it's already greased, it comes out fairly well. Yep. Now this makes a really big cookie. So I'm only going to do one like that. Put it out here. Make a 1 monster cookie. How about that? And then taking the back of a spoon to flatten it in the center. See, this is going to be a lot bigger than that other one. This is going to be for the husband. So your cookie scoops, when you get them, they come in different sizes. I would get not the 1 3/4 is what that is. I'd get the 1-inch one. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to use the melon ball thing for my cookies because I don't want them huge. I don't want them small. I'm just filling up half of it. Roll it in that cinnamon and sugar. And then you don't need to use a spoon. You can actually use your fingers. Just smush it down to about a 1/2 inch deep or thick. And just keep going. Roll it in the cinnamon sugar. Oh, y'all can't see that. I'm just rolling the dough in there, putting it on the tray, and making it about a 1/2 inch high. Now, this melon ball thing actually works really good. Roll it so that you get the cinnamon sugar that it'll be evidently, and obviously it's going to be all through it. It's going to cook into it. Just kind of get that out of there. There is also like a cookie gun thing. I wouldn't suggest it because this dough is very sticky and it would get stuck in it. So I'm going to do a dozen per tray on here. Roll it around. Roll it good. Now you would think a cup of sugar and 2. See, basically you want like a little smaller than a golf ball size. Honestly. Because when these cook, they puff up and the center of them is soft and chewy. That's what makes snickerdoodles so delicious. Because they're not, if you don't overcook them, that's what you end up with. Some people like a crisper cookie. Well, if you want a little bit of crunch to it, when you put it in the oven, cook it to 12 minutes, and it'll have a crunchy outside cookie. I like the soft ones. There's we call them soft batch. So that's, I guess you'd say it's about a $1/2 size almost, all the way around. Roll it in that cinnamon and sugar. You can add nutmeg to the cinnamon if you want to have more of a holiday kind of flavor kind of thing. I've done that before, nutmeg and cinnamon for snickerdoodles, but the traditional is just cinnamon and sugar. And you roll them in there and flatten them down just a little. You don't flatten them down completely flat because you want them to have a center to I call it a chewy center. So I'm going to put the 50 for 8 minutes. The middle rack, 8 minutes. And set. And then do the next track. Now my friend in the UK, and she knows who she is. When she mentioned these, I thought, I haven't made this since Christmas, so I'm making them. I'm making them for my friend. And by the way, my sweet husband went to the store and made a special trip for the ingredients I didn't have. Yeah, that's a keeper. That is a keeper. This is almost like basically a ping pong ball size. So I've got on these. Now I could use like a diameter kind of thing for it. I'm not so sure that this dough would work too well with it, but never know. May have to try that one time. I like to experiment, so to speak, with things in the kitchen to get the end results that I want flat. That would be like pie crust. Pie crust you want, pretty flat. I'm trying to make these uniform. That they rise fairly evenly. And put these here. Tendency to burn whatever you put on them, so parchment paper keeps that from happening. It assists in that endeavor. Now, some folks will even sprinkle a little extra cinnamon sugar on top when they first come out while they're warm. I've done that because we really like our cinnamon. And this should be enough for. See, now I've got cinnamon and sugar on top of the cookie, but on the bottom and on the sides. So that's what you want for a proper snickerdoodle. And 1/2 mix. 1 cookie. Let's see the dropped a piece. And roll it around. I'd actually sometimes I've done it to make these like a cinnamon swirl center cookie ball, right? And like that, take it and I'm gonna make it real flat, like this. And then I'll take cinnamon. I'll just sprinkle just a teensy bit more on the inside. Jelly roll. I'll put this in the corner so I remember which one it was. I'm going to do 2 like that. That's just because if you want extra cinnamon, you can do it that way. That's what I did. I'll put it there. Just with cinnamon for inside the bread. Inside the bread. Just kind of, there we go. Just a little bit more. This right to the size I'm making 2 spoons of cinnamon. Just do another batch of it. The great thing about that cinnamon sugar is you can save it for other recipes. 3, 6, 9, 12 to expand, and you need that 1-inch expanding one. Now, I don't know if a cookie scoop would have been better, but sometimes I think I should use no scoop at all. Just make the little ball the way size I want. Roll it in there. I think it's just to try to make them uniform shape-wise, but I do pretty good at that by eyeballing them. Like that, inch apart. This tray's a little bit larger, so I can put actually 2 more on here. I'm going to say, forget the scoop. I'm just going to take a hand, size of a ping pong ball, roll it. So that goes there, and like that. 1 inch, roll it, like that, and put that down. Now, if you want to make them a different flavor snickerdoodle, you can do that. You can put, like, vanilla is the standard. You can make, put almond or that sort of thing. Big tray. Parchment paper on it. Let's have, and I'm going to use my other ice cream scoop to do this part. It just seems a little easier. So getting the right amount like that. This is a shallow ice cream scoop, but when it comes to putting the cookie on the tray and then just flattening it just a little bit, it's perfect size. So I'm going to do that one that way. I greased it beforehand just because I knew I was going to end up using it. Guess I should check and see if they're done. And yes, I think I will. This last one on here. And you want them to cool for about 10 minutes before you take. Oh, they're huge. I forgot how big they poofed out. Look at that. Actually, these need a couple more minutes. Yep. 2 minutes. Well, it's 8 to 10 minutes, depending on your oven. All ovens different. So okay, you see how small it started out? They're literally big. This big. So, I'm glad. Yeah. And you'll see why I didn't remember that big. So, do small ping pong ball size. But if you do it the size like this, you might want to do a little bigger than 1 inch in spacing. Just because you'll see how they puffed up. Before, I still do something a little different. And I go, oh, wow, those are big. I get surprised too. I like them warm. I like to have a warm one for my first one. and a nice cold glass of milk or a cup of tea. Oh, hell, the size that I've made them, I'm going to get more than 3 dozen. This is okay with me. Cinnamon is good for you. It's good for your blood pressure. Granted, these are cookies, but hey, you know. And the more that you flatten them down, the more they spread out. And if you don't, like I'm going to take one and from this batch. I should have done on that batch, but I didn't. But if you don't smush them down too much, then you end up with a big puffy ball looking thing. Some people like them that way. No cinnamon. Okay. Some of these it's fun to experiment with cookie recipes though. You know, you can leave it as a ball. Just poof up like a little mountain shape. You know, it spreads out, flattens out like normal. There's no rule that says it has to. No, ma'am. This is a half cookie scoop shape. And I think we should be ready to see the results. All right, you get there. I'm coming. Calm down. Maybe that one a little smaller. Let's see what we got. Leaving the oven on. Oh yeah. That's good. Now the way I can tell these are done is they have this little golden look on the top. I don't know if you can really see, but the reason why you leave them on the cookie sheet is it finishes cooking the inside of them. And those are going to be absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to let them cool for a little bit. I'm going to finish this up, put this in the oven with the other tray, with the snickerdoodling. And believe it or not, I still have some left in this pan. And I can save it, or I can not save it. But what I like to do is while they're cooling on that cookie sheet, I sprinkle them a little bit. Is hopefully close by. It's not there. My rack got moved. I have a cooling rack. It has a light on. These are wonderful for cooling cookies. Okay, so I'm going to take the cookie rack or cookie sheet, put it on top, and this little bit of cinnamon and sugar that's in here, I'm going to put some extra right on top. Just kind of finger sprinkle it. Just a sprinkle on top. This is snickerdoodles. They're delicious. I'd love to bite into one, but I have to let them see the bottom. There's a little golden spot. They're done. So 10 minutes is good in my oven. Your oven might be different. Oh my goodness. It's still got to sit. Because if you don't let them sit, that's what they do. They'll fall apart in your mouth. Oh my God. That was wonderful. So shout out to my friend in the UK, Miss Jazz. These are your snickerdoodles, girl. Make them. You're going to love them. They're absolutely decadent. Buttery cinnamon. Wonderful. And so they're warm, but I gotta refrain. I gotta let them sit a minute. So and if they were as good as I know they will be, and these are gluten free, and I can taste the coconut flour in there. Like I said, you don't have to use the coconut flour. You don't have to make them gluten free. You can use regular flour, exact same measurements. I'll put the description afterwards, so that you all will be able to actually write it down. And do me a favor, try it. Definitely give me a thumbs up, because this is good stuff. Share my videos, please. Let me know. Come to my kitchen to cook with me. Cook with your shoes off, because here it is barefoot cooking with myself, Coach Sue, the barefoot cook, the barefoot country cook. Hope to see you again. I've got more great recipes coming up, and we're going to dabble in some international foods very soon. Stay tuned. Come back and see me. Love you.